The members of the Paranormal Investigation Club at the local college were getting tired of chasing after normal, explainable occurrences like raccoons in the attic or settling foundations. The seven of them were ready for something more exciting, something that would give them a chance to show off their skills and potentially reveal something truly extraordinary. They wanted to find something big, something that would make their hearts race and put their nerves to the test. They hoped that this next case would be the one that would finally give them the opportunity to capture something wonderful, yet perhaps also frightening. As destiny would have it, one of the researchers stumbles upon a cryptic article on the internet concerning a hauntingly beautiful painting. Created 200 years prior by a prosperous landlord, it was believed to emit an otherworldly terror and devour the very souls of those who dared to behold its macabre radiance. This enigmatic masterpiece was crafted as a means to delve into the darkest corners of the mind, exploring realms far beyond the reaches of our understanding. It was a manifestation of abhorrence, a primal fear of the unknown, and all that lay concealed from our perception. Or at least that is what the few tales on the mysterious object have said. The researchers recounted the tale to the rest of the club. Their eyes gleamed with excitement at the thought of an impending hunt, but as they delved deeper into the mystery, they began to realize that not everything was as it seemed. Doubts started to creep in, casting a shadow over their hopes of finding the truth. They scoured every corner of the internet, searching for any shred of evidence that would lead them to the elusive landowner and his alleged treasure. But the more they learned, the more confusing things became. Every trail led to dead ends, every source contradicted another. Still, they refused to give up, driven by their insatiable hunger for the truth and adventure. And so, after weeks of grueling research and painstaking analysis, they arrived at a conclusion. The likeliest location of the wealthy landowner and his sinister secrets was a vast of land in the frozen wilderness of northern Maine. The team decided to embark on an expedition, determined to get to the bottom of this mystery once and for all. But what they encountered there would change their lives forever. The journey to this place would not be without its difficulties. As winter approached, the team faced new obstacles in addition to the treacherous terrain they must navigate. Bitter cold, snowstorms, and biting winds would test their resolve, but they were determined to succeed. For weeks they meticulously planned and prepared, drawing on the resources of their club and pulling their own funds. This mission was a make it or break it moment for them. The day had finally arrived, and the team embarked on their journey filled with excitement and anticipation. Their discussion about the mysterious land had sparked their imaginations, leading them to speculate about what they might discover. Some believed that they would uncover skeletal remains, while others thought that they would encounter ghostly apparitions. Still others would say that they would find nothing more than an old, abandoned mansion. Despite feeling slightly anxious, they maintained a sense of optimism, knowing that whatever lay ahead, it would be an experience they would never forget. After a long and arduous drive, the team finally arrived at their destination. They had pieced together limited information about the location, which indicated that the entrance to the landowner's property was hidden off the main highway and down a series of winding, perilous roads that sliced through the rugged mountains. From there, they would need to navigate through the dense forests and icy streams before ultimately reaching their objective, the mysterious mansion. They traveled through the rugged terrain, braving the frigid winds and biting cold of the northern reaches. As they drew closer to their destination, they could feel the weight of the mystery bearing down upon them, like a tangible force pushing them forward and into the unknown. After braving the terrifying woods, where the only signs of life were the snapping branches underfoot and the eerie howls of unknown creatures in the distance, the team stumbled upon a small path. It seemed like a beacon of hope amidst the darkness. But as they ventured further, they realized that even this man-made creation had been consumed by nature. The dense foliage hung overhead like a funeral shroud, and the air felt thick with malevolent energy. One member of the group whispered that it was as if the land itself was trying to keep them from reaching their destination. Or maybe there was some dark secret buried deep within these woods that didn't want to be unearthed. Whatever the case may be, the team pressed on. their hearts pounding in their chests like frightened rabbits. As they trudged through the tangled undergrowth, they came across something that brought them a glimmer of hope: a statue. Its broken form lay on the ground, having tumbled from its pedestal and onto its side. The team approached cautiously, their eyes fixed on the weathered stone figure. They snapped photos to document their discovery, but as one of them brushed away the accumulated snow, it revealed the inscription below, and a shiver ran down their spine. The words weren't legible, but they could make out that a name and date were etched into the stone. Whomever this person was, they had left their mark here long ago. But what happened to them? Did they disappear into the nightmarish wilderness, or did something else take them? As the team contemplated the ominous possibilities, a sinister wind rustled through the trees, sending a cold breeze up their spines and causing them to shudder with fear. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the property, strange occurrences began to unfold. Their equipment malfunctioned, their compasses spun wildly, and their GPS signals faltered. It was as if they were being watched, studied even, by some malevolent presence lurking just beyond the periphery of their vision. Despite these eerie happenings, the team pressed on, driven by their relentless pursuit of the truth and adventure. After carefully navigating the property, the team caught glimpses of a silhouette in the distance. As they neared their destination, the mansion materialized before them. A sense of unease hung over the group as they realized that the once majestic structure was now crumbling and abandoned. Shattered window panes glared at them from darkened rooms, and the tilted front porch seemed almost detached from the rest of the building. The team pondered the mystery surrounding this behemoth estate, conceived and constructed in such an isolated spot. The team enters the old, run-down building, feeling an unsettling presence within its walls. Nervously, they divide up and start searching for the elusive painting. Despite their efforts, they cannot shake the sensation that something sinister is lurking beneath the surface. Their investigative tools slowly drain of battery, thwarting their attempts at gathering evidence. Ultimately, they are driven by the desire to find the painting and end the growing unease. Little do they know that far more insidious force is manipulating them from the shadows, using their very curiosity against them. As they delve deeper into the estate, they discover numerous strange things, some that defied explanation. Spanning room after room, they meticulously combed every corner, each one reverberating with dread. With each passageway searched and every nook explored, their growing unease mounted. It became increasingly evident that the elusive painting remained at large. The final resting place for the missing artwork seemed to lurk beneath their feet, concealed by an ancient door that led to the basement. Despite the palpable fear that gripped them, they knew that they exhausted all other options. Together they descended into the shadowy depths, prepared to confront whatever secrets lay waiting. As they descended into the basement, their hearts raced with anticipation and fear. The air grew thick, and the musty smell of age hung heavy in the stale atmosphere. Their footsteps echoed against the cold stone walls, bouncing back at them like a chorus of whispers. Step by step, they edged closer to the mysterious painting, dreading what it may reveal, but driven by a morbid curiosity. When finally they reached their destinations, their breaths caught in their throats. There, on a dusty shelf, stood the enigmatic painting, a canvas shrouded in shadows, its subject matter seemingly lost to time, depicting shadowy figures dancing across an effigy of a faceless woman, her arms outstretched and a crooked smile on her face. As they gathered around it, they felt an inexplicable connection, an undeniable pull towards something unknown. And it is unlike anything they had ever seen, and its power is palpable. As they examine the painting, the team becomes entranced by its dark beauty. However, as they continue to study it, they begin to feel a strange sensation, as if they are being drawn into its twisted world. They try to resist, but the more they stare at the painting, the stronger the pull becomes. Suddenly, the heavy door leading out of the basement slams shut, leaving them trapped within its twisted grip. Panic sets in as they realize there is no escape, and their fear escalates. They try pulling and slamming into the door, desperately trying whatever they can to escape their ever-growing nightmare. Tensions rise as they argue who is responsible for bringing them here, and what their ultimate goal might be now. After exhausting their strength and trying to escape this hellish room, the team members soon become consumed by the painting and its power. Their once professional demeanor crumbles as they become increasingly captivated and obsessed with the artwork. In an attempt to escape the gravity of the situation, debates and disagreements arise about the meaning and significance of the painting, driving a wedge between the group. The tension reaches a boiling point when one member suggests destroying the painting to break free from its grasp. This proposal sparks outrage among the others, who believe the painting holds the key to unlocking a great discovery, or, at the very least, salvation from their confinement. The team became engrossed in analyzing every detail of the painting, discussing its possible interpretations and implications. Their conversations centered around the painting's haunting imagery and how it affects them individually and collectively. As they struggled to find rest and regain focus, the painting's pull seemed to intensify, taking over their minds and consuming their thoughts. Soon, they realized that their obsession with the painting had become a curse, preventing them from escaping its grip. Night after night, the team was plagued by eerie visions of dancing shadows, and an unrelenting sense of fear. Some members even start to question their own sanity as they become more and more entranced by the painting. They begin to see strange visions and hear whispers in the darkness. After days of being trapped in the room, the team realizes that they are getting close to the end. Supplies are non-existent and the paranoia is reaching its peak. Some of them realize that they must work together in order to find a way out. However, they are so divided and distrustful of one another that they can barely hold a conversation. As they struggle to escape, they realize that they might be stuck there forever, trapped by their own obsession with the painting. In a desperate attempt to be free of the painting's madness, one of the investigators takes a blunt garden hoe and begins repeatedly smashing the ceiling in an attempt to break the floorboards. The investigator's frantic attempts to escape the painting spell inspire him, relentlessly attacking the ceiling. The boards begin to give way. Piece by agonizing piece, the wood splinters and falls to the ground. The investigator's hands become torn and bloody as he strikes with every fiber of his being, his friends looking on in a daze, as if not believing the scene that is unfolding in front of them. Perhaps they think it's just another nightmare. After what felt like an eternity, there's a small enough hole for them to fit through. He falls backwards from exhaustion, and as he does, he manages to catch himself by grasping onto the painting itself. Immediately upon contact with the otherworldly painting, his hand begins to sizzle and burn as the blood from his hand is absorbed into the painting itself. The painting's surface seemed to pulse with energy, as if it were alive. As his burning hand made contact with the canvas, he could feel its warmth seeping into his veins, numbing the pain that consumed him only moments ago. The world around him began to fade away, replaced by swirling patterns and kaleidoscopic colors. The last thing he remembers before succumbing fully to the painting's embrace was the overwhelming sensation of tranquility enveloping him, as if his struggles had finally come to an end. The team stood paralyzed with fear as they witnessed this gruesome transformation of the man before them. They could do nothing but watch in terror as his skin withered and his eyes seemed to disappear, leaving only a dry, leathery shell behind. His hand had let loose a red mist that filled the air with a sinister scent. Worst of all, the once human face twisted into a grin so malicious that it chilled their souls. It appeared that the man's unimaginable suffering had led him to revel in the very moment of his demise. This was the sweetest moment of his existence. As the sun slowly disappeared behind the horizon, the faint glow of its light began to fade from the room. The remaining 6 investigators, frozen in fear, were left shocked, while deep down their minds said run. There was another voice in their head now, a powerful, ethereal voice telling them to stay, to explore sights incomprehensible to their minds, to become one with the painting, one with something much greater and vast than any of them. In any other situation, the choice would be clear, but the prolonged time spent in such close proximity to this influential horror had left them mentally broken. They felt themselves slipping away into an abyss they could no longer comprehend or control. With each passing moment, their will to resist diminished as the allure of becoming part of the painting's world consumes them. Just then, one of the remaining team members was able to have a moment of clarity, a reprieve from the otherworldly voice invading his mind. Taking this opportunity, he bolted for the hole in the ceiling. With every fiber of his being, he knew that this would be his only chance. This momentary reprieve was short-lived, however, as the remaining team members pursued him relentlessly, their eyes wild with insanity, beckoning him to stay with them. With every step, he felt the pull of the painting's malevolence, threatening to drag him back into its embrace. Panic surged through his veins, fueling his desperate escape. Time seemed to slow, each second feeling like an eternity. Up above, the faint light of the hole in the ceiling beckoned him closer. With one final burst of adrenaline, he leapt towards it, his fingers scraping against the rough edges of the wooden floorboard. Sweat and terror mingled as he dug deep, finding strength from somewhere beyond his own boundaries. And inch by agonizing inch, he clawed his way towards freedom. As freedom grew nearer, so too did the darkness descend upon those left behind, swallowing them whole until there was nothing but madness remaining. As he ascended from the dark abyss beneath his feet, he made a decision that haunted him to the core. In one fleeting moment, he gazed upon the lifeless forms of his fellow club members. Behind their glazed eyes, he can see the emptiness, as if they had been stripped of their very souls. The malevolence of the sinister painting had consumed them all, leaving nothing but hollow shells in its wake. He vowed then and there to never let such darkness touch his heart, lest it consume him whole. As he sprinted away from the mansion, he could feel his energy fading, his lungs burning, heart racing, and dizziness overtaking him. Despite these sensations, he heard the disembodied voices of his clubmates, urging him to return and share their fate. The eerie chorus echoed throughout the grounds as if they were beckoning him back into the unknown. With each step, he felt a tugging force pulling him towards the shadows, promising an escape from the torment that haunted him. Knowing that if he stopped now, he would never escape this place, he continued through the front door and off the cursed property. In his heart, he knew that even if he were to perish on the journey home, the further from the painting he got, the safer his soul would be. But perish he did not. He made the arduous trek through the bone-chilling cold and winds, through the densely crowded undergrowth of the forest and over the mountains, to the vehicle that had brought them there so many days ago. He would never speak of what happened to his colleagues, not where they had gone, nor what he had seen, for there was a chance that the mystery may lead others to the accursed place and to such a horrible fate. The only proof of what had transpired was in his mind, and in there is where the painting lived outside of its resting place. In the deadly silence of the night, whispers echoed across his room, haunting him with memories of what had occurred. As the shadows lengthened and darkness enveloped the space, the man could no longer ignore the chilling reality that the painting's malevolent energy still threatened to consume him. The shadowy forms of the deceased husks of his friends materialized, their ethereal presence a stark reminder of their fates. Their ghostly features melded into the depiction of the grinning woman at the center of the canvas, her outstretched hand beckoning him ever closer to an unavoidable fate.